Come to order. This is a regular city council meeting. It's been held Thursday, April 16th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Seymour City Hall, 301 North Washington, Seymour, Texas. All notices have been duly posted in accordance and conformance with the Government Code of the State of Texas, Section 551.072C. The City of Seymour attempts to make its meetings accessible to all citizens. If you have need of auxiliary aids, please notify the city secretary at 940-889-3148 at least 48 hours in advance. The agenda is also posted on the city's website at cityofseymour.org with the following agenda to be considered. There's no executive session tonight. When we have those, we schedule those at 6 p.m. So we're opening at 7 p.m. It's the regular meeting. Let's do our roll call. Then we'll do a pledge of allegiance. I'll lead that. And then Mr. Russell Roberts, pastor of Calvary Baptist Church and the Red Springs Baptist Church, will lead us in prayer. So if you'll remain standing after the pledge, we'll do our prayer. So first I'll do the roll call. Mr. Lan Wynn.
Here.
Council Lady Nancy Townley. Councilman Billy Henricks.
Here.
Councilman Skylar Henricks is absent tonight. We have Dr. Brazier, city administrator here, Ms. Lauren Bush, the city secretary. Looks like the Seymour PD down here. Bryce Sawyer, Sid's here. Ms. Karen Kalachik, city council lady elect, is here tonight. And so anyway, let's stand up and do our pledge of allegiance, then we'll do the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag Amen. Thank you. What's that? No, he didn't. He acts up here. He can project. Okay, let's see here. Where are we? Let's announcements. Mayor Pro Tem Billy Henricks, do you have any announcements you would like to or comments? I have a couple. Want to kind of give a shout out, if you will, to the city administration operations. We've had some folks out for various reasons, and I know Ms. Bush, who is our city secretary, has been basically doing full-time utility clerk operations this week, and how she gets all this done, I don't know, but she does seem to do it. And I want to thank y'all for that, for stepping up and doing that. And we've had that in some other departments too, and our city people adapt and seem to get it done. And it's noticed, and I just want to tell you I appreciate it. Mr. Paul Fleming is here tonight. I'm usually glad to see. I started to say always, but usually. And he represents the auditing company that does our city audit. And after looking at this, and I made a few notes, so I'm going to ask a few questions tonight, but I remember like a week before Dr. Brazier was going to assume his role as city administrator, I stopped by and talked to him and mentioned that I was concerned about this, and he mentioned he was concerned too. And so anyway, at some point, we've made a lot of progress. I appreciate the council hanging in on this and getting this done. And at this point, as far as I understand all this, we are current on all our financial information or reports that are required by law to be done. So anyway, those are my comments today. Let's move forward. Dr. Brazier, I think you have some recognition of employees to do tonight.
I still think we're waiting on Sergeant.
We can come back to this.
Yeah, let's come back to that. If
Okay.
you don't mind.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we will come back to that. Citizens' comments. No citizens' comments tonight. If you come to the council meeting, you can speak for 3 minutes on any topic you choose to speak on. And we can't comment from up here, but we'll certainly listen, and you're welcome anytime to come in and make a comment, good or hopefully good, but whatever it is. Okay, we've got city administrator reports. Dr.
Yes,
Jeff
sir.
Brazier.
Okay. A couple things to go over. Personnel reports. We are fully staffed as of today. And also the Salt Fork membership is at 212. Excited. What did I say, 12? Oh, 112. I'm sorry. My mind's in 3 different places right now. Also, our police department is performing really well. If you look at the report, they're very proactive in patrolling and out visible, keeping us all safe. On our financial report, we still are performing well as a city through the month of March. Looks like we were like 7,000 over for the month and 158,000 so far this fiscal year. We're generating more revenues than over our expenditures. So we're doing great there. If you look at our overall expenditures, looks like overall we're in good shape. There are a few line items, if you'll notice, if you go through department that we've kind of overspent just a little bit. Well, I say overspent, we're more than that 50%, but we're going to continue to monitor that. I don't think there's anything to be overly concerned about at this time, but we do like to see that we're on a good pace to make it throughout the end of the fiscal year without overexpending. So all the departments seem overall in great shape. And unless, Lauren, anything on dilapidated properties? You have your report in your file. We've really kind of stopped knocking down properties at this point and focus on mowing and other issues right now. But overall, I think the city's in great shape, moving in a good direction, and thanks the council for all your support.
All right. I think, or do we have everyone here? Okay, Dr. Brazier, you want to recognize our...
Well, I believe that our chief of police, Bryce Sawyer, is going to come up, and he's going to make the recognition for us at this time.
This is Chief Bryce Sawyer. He's going to speak, and we'll see where this goes. Yeah, I know you got one there.
I'm going to spin around so I can talk to them out here. Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of our community, and family members. Tonight, I would like to recognize 2 officers whose actions exemplify exactly what this profession demands at its highest level. On March 22nd, Officer Rangel responded to a welfare check involving an individual in crisis who was armed with a firearm and threatening self-harm. Recognizing the seriousness of the situation, he immediately requested backup. Sergeant Deanda responded, and together they faced a situation that could have ended in tragedy. Instead, through discipline, composure, and decisive action, these officers de-escalated the incident and safely persuaded an individual to put down the firearm without injury to anyone involved. Let me be clear, this outcome was not by chance. It was by direct result of training, judgment, and commitment to doing their job the right way. In a moment where force could have been used, they chose communication. In a moment of uncertainty, they showed control. And because of that, a life was preserved. I would also like to just recognize Officer Jones and Sheriff White for their assistance on this matter. This is what we expect of our officers, and more importantly, this is what our community deserves. It is my honor to present the Life Preservation Award to Officer Rangel and Sergeant Felipe Deanda. Their actions reflect the highest standards of the Seymour Police Department and the profession as a whole. Come on up here, gentlemen.
Appreciate everybody that came here tonight. That's just very, very rewarding. Okay. I know. Okay, we've got a public hearing, number 3, concerning, we're going to skip this 1510 North Main. The application's been pulled. Okay, so we'll go to the consent agenda. Any questions on that? We're trying to secure some grants for a warning siren and a crime prevention drone for the police department. Any comment from the public? If not, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion. Mr. Hendricks, any second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, a second. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Okay. Action items. Number 11, discuss, approve, and take action concerning the 2025 City of Seymour audit report. And I believe Mr. Paul Fleming is here. And we'll turn it over to Mr. Fleming. Yeah, I think so.
May not be seeing each other so frequently anymore, but that's a good thing. I'll be pretty brief, going over the audit. Just like I've said the other past years, everybody in the city did well getting us what we needed, making the audit go smoothly. So we got it done before the new state deadline, 180 days after September 30th. So should be in compliance there. So that's a good thing. Our independent auditor's report is on page 1, 2, 3, as always. And this report is an unmodified opinion or clean opinion on the city's financials, meaning that the financials are presented fairly, in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, based on our audit that's more important with generally accepted auditing standards. The management's discussion and analysis starts on page 4. That has some good narrative that will describe, kind of in summary, the city's fiscal year and operation in the different funds. So that's a good thing to look at if you're interested in those kind of things. As far as our fund financial statements for the year, starting on page 14 is the balance sheet for the general fund. And there at the bottom, you can see the fund balance at September 30th, 2025. It's about 1.1 billion almost. And on page 15, you can see we have an increase of net change in fund balance, which is near the bottom, of 434,000 from the year before. As far as the water, sewer, RO plant fund, and including sanitation and the electric fund, those financial statements are on page 18 and 19. On those financial statements, kind of the most important line items are at the bottom, the unrestricted net position. That's the amount that you'll have, that y'all will spend on anything that comes up, buy new water facilities, something like that. So water, sewer, RO plant has about 2.3 million, and the electric fund has about 2.9 million. So both of those are in good shape, as is the general fund. And you can see the change in that position for those on page 19. They both increased by a little more than 200,000 during the year. So all three funds performed in the black for 2025. Behind that are the notes of the financial statements. There's not a lot new in these this year. There was one new accounting principle. It didn't have a big effect on the city, but the GASB now makes us estimate how much of your sick leave will be used. Not just, we've always kind of accrued for what will be paid, like vacation, but now some people leave that will also just be used. Even though it doesn't really cost you money, that's what they tell us to do. So that's the one change on that from the year before. Over on page 44, we're required to show the budget's actual schedule for the general fund. You can see there, actual results compared to the budget. Our revenues were about 174,000 more than the budget. And a lot of that is, almost all of it is interest income. Getting more investments of higher return than what has been budgeted in the general fund over the last few years. So that's a good thing. Let your money work for you. Go ahead and make some more money off of it. And you can see there in the expenditure section that your expenditures were about 280,000 less than budgeted, and that you were below in every area. I know y'all worked hard to get budget amendments this year. deals with basic state laws, things like that, to make sure the city is in compliance. Also, it deals with internal controls over the finances. So in the past, we have had 3 findings every year. One of those was that the bank recs were not done in a timely fashion. So that one has been removed for this year. All the work that's been done, those are being reconciled more timely. We get one now that actually reconciles, whereas in the past, we get one and it wasn't quite right, and there was little things to be fixed, but that's not the case for 2025, so that line has been removed. The other one is what I mentioned earlier, the budget. For the past few years, sometimes expenditures would be more than budgeted, and that's a violation technically of state law. So we had to report that, as I mentioned, that was done this year. So another good step for the city. The one item that is left is one that a lot of people have, a lot of smaller cities in there, especially, and that's that we did have to make significant audit entries again. They were a lot less than they had been in the past. It was still enough that we need to leave this item in there, but it's possible with all the work that's going on, we need to get to where that one a little bit too. But anyway, that's a very good thing. Better for y'all, better for us, and so again, the audit is much better than it was the first time I saw y'all a few years ago. So page 53 describes a little bit more of those prior findings that have now been resolved. One other thing I would mention, we've had in our letters in the past, there've been bigger fish to fry, so I haven't really talked about it. One thing that I think would really help with financial reporting is that for this audit, we have to present the electric fund separate from water, sewer, all that. Then on the city's accounting, those are all together in one fund. So that makes it a little more challenging as far as separating those out to figure out what goes where for the audit. And now that the full cash is all caught up and working the way it's supposed to, I think at some point in the future, it would be a good idea to actually separate those on the city's accounting so that we're keeping track of it on the way the audit gets to be done. I'm not saying you have to, but it's our recommendation. That would be something to consider in the future. And other than that, I'm happy to answer your questions.
Have you discussed how this would be done with maybe Suzanne or somebody as far as separating those funds, or is that just something we need to do internally that,
We haven't discussed it in detail, but I don't think it would be very difficult, especially with maybe separate. The chart of accounts makes it fairly clear, but we always end up with a quite, it's small amounts, but
does the council have some questions or any comments or? Well, I picked some numbers out, and I hope I didn't just cherry pick these numbers, but because I'm just so tickled that, the law did change. So now cities have to have this done by, it was one day in April, I think, late March, yeah, which we did. We got under the deadline. So we're eligible for grants, and you can't raise the tax rate and that kind of thing if it's not caught up to date. So we're in a good position there. I noticed the city's net position increased by $777,000. That's a big number to me. The general fund balance plus 434. Sales tax revenue was up. Hotel occupancy tax revenue was up. That, which tells me maybe our economy is on this, an upward move at some point, or it is now. I found this interesting. City revenues, property taxes account for 6%. sales tax 5%, interest on CDs 3%, and charges for our electric, water, and sewers 78%. So as we all know, that's really, really important. City expenses, or city-related expenses, or electric rate department 42%, water 29%, PD 9%, and administrative 6%. So that's just an interesting thing that I read. Let me ask you this one thing. You were talking about the electric fund and water fund. That's a little over $5 million. That's cash. I mean, that's money that's in an account somewhere that technically we could use for a project or hold it to the electric department or hold it within the water department. But that money is actually there as far as in an account. Okay. 2.9 unrestricted in the electric department, 2.3 unrestricted in the water department is what I wrote down. We have debt. There's about 2.8 notes payable. That's from the electric and water department, the meters and all the things that were spent years ago. The freeze is about $630,000 that we borrowed. The golf carts, about $75,000. So we do have some debt, but we've got some money, I guess, if we want to pay that down. All right, well, that's all I've got. I just found that interesting and, pull some numbers out. And I'm just pleased we're in the position we're in. We seem to be in a pretty good position. If there's no more questions, Mr. Fleming, thank you. Thank Dr. Brazier and Ms. Bush for doing what they did on getting this audit together, and so that we're compliant with the state law. All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. It's like, what do I do now?
Thank you again,
Wait
Paul.
till next year. No, don't say that. No. Thank you, Mr. Fleming. Okay. Woo. This is a good evening. Okay, that was number 11, number 12.
Wait, y'all going to approve the audit?
Beg your pardon?
Approve the audit?
Oh, yeah. Please, can we get a motion to approve the audit?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the audit
Okay.
as of September 30th, 2025.
Okay. That will do the trick?
Yeah, Lauren reminded me, we did approve it last month, but I guess y'all can approve it again, so it's not going to hurt anything.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Hendricks seconds it. All in favor? Is there any discussion out here? If there's not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, and it passes. Thanks, sir. All right. Number 12, that is off the agenda. It was withdrawn. 13, discuss, consider, and take action concerning a variance request made by Lee Lohman and Amy White with Claw Contractors to place a manufactured home that is older than 5 years old at 503 South Tackett, currently zoned as an R3 and allows for manufactured housing without a permit. I think the issue is the age. Is that right, Ms. Bush? It's I think in our ordinance it's 5 years. This one is 10. It has some pictures in here, and it looks pretty. I mean, it looks good to me. I mean, the condition, the outside condition, the pictures. But I think Mr. Lohman's here and Ms. White's here. If y'all would like to come and speak, you're certainly welcome. Or we'll discuss it among ourselves, I guess. Y'all have an opinion? I drove by the site. Actually, I drove by it today. It's a vacant lot. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. It's a vacant lot. It's got some trees on it. It's directly across the street east from the Sunshine RV Park. Is that correct? Okay. And right now there's nothing on it. And I'm doing all the talking out here. I don't mean to do that, but I think the idea of the ordinance was at one time you could bring anything, any age, structure you wanted to, and there was nothing you could do about it. So it was an attempt to keep everything, I guess, for lack of a better term, junky property from being brought into the city and set up. Can we ask questions from the, are you going to rent? You come on up if you want to. Thank you for coming. Sometimes people come, sometimes they don't. Mr. Lohman, how are you? Good. I take it what I understood from our information, you're going to rent, set the property up, put some porches around it, and rent it, hopefully rent it. Okay. Gotcha. Well, when I was kind of thinking about it and running it through my head, there's virtually very small amount of taxes coming off that property as it sits at this point. But if a structure goes on it, there's some tax revenue for not just us, but the school, the county, all that. So, like I say, I think that the city and the council is trying to be very careful with the appearance of our city, and that was the concern, I think, for the ordinance. Yes. Okay, well. Yes. You were in that tear down business before we were, I think. You got a head start on us. Y'all want to discuss this or make a motion? What would you like to do?
I just have a question for our staff is, obviously we'd be setting a precedent if we do this. Do we have very many requests for older trailers to be brought in?
No, generally not. I think most of the manufactured housing permits that you've seen have been for newer units. You issued one many years ago to Sunshine RV Park because they inherited that RV that was at the side of their lot. And so instead of having them remove it from the property because it didn't meet the requirements, you gave them a permit to keep it, but you did ask them to bring it up to date so that it looked nicer, so it fit the aesthetics of the neighborhood. The only thing that I have on the manufactured home is to ensure that it gets listed. I think it's called real property at the courthouse. If you don't go back in and list it as a real property with the courthouse, it doesn't get taxed like a house. It gets taxed like a vehicle. And so for it to be beneficial to the city, it would need to be converted into real property.
Converted into a what?
Into real property?
Gotcha,
Is that correct?
gotcha.
I'm not super
Yeah.
familiar with the language.
You're attaching it to the ground, right? I mean, there's going to be a foundation there and that kind of thing. So I see exactly what you're saying, though. All right. Any other discussion, or anyone want to make a motion or this is a, what do you call it, Lauren?
Specific use permit. No, I'm sorry. We're asking for a variance.
Variance. Thank
Because
you.
they're already zoned, that area is zoned for manufactured housing.
Yes,
So
yes.
we're just requesting a variance for age.
It is, and that's kind of important too. It is zoned for this type of housing already. It just needs a variance due to the age. Any discussion from the folks out here? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we grant the request on the variance to Lee Lohman.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Wynn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion on that? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. So it does pass. Okay, you bet. Good luck. We've got a list. Added that to the thing, but we didn't. Okay, let's move forward. Number 14, discuss, consider, and take action concerning the light extension policy as submitted by Schneider Engineering. Dr. Brazier, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, just give y'all a quick background. So our electric department supervisor, Mr. Joyce, is here, can certainly answer any questions, probably better than I can, but he's been getting a lot of requests for the extension of services or upgrades for services commercially, specifically for RV parks in the community. And he had some concerns that we just didn't have a foolproof policy to refer to give us clear direction on how to handle these different requests. So his recommendation, we reached out to Synergy, used to be Schneider Engineering, which is our electrical engineer. And we brought this forward to them, and they created this line extension policy for y'all's consideration. So John and I both read through it. I don't think John had any concerns. He made a few edits in it, and they edited those, put those in there. So what we're recommending is for y'all to approve this line extension policy. So give John Joyce a clear direction and how to proceed when people are requesting, again, upgrades or extensions to electrical service to the community.
Okay. Would Mr. Joyce like to speak? Or you could kind of explain some of the problems if you want to, Mr. Joyce, if you want to. I know you run into different things from time to time, and there's probably no limit to that, but.
Not a negative, but I don't want to be negative either, I just, I get it, I support everybody trying to better themselves. But we shouldn't be at the cost of the citizens.
You've looked at the suggested policy, and does it seem to work?
And if there's an issue, we can always have that edited, if Mr. Joyce doesn't like something or whatever, we can bring it back, for further revision.
We could amend the policy at some point. Okay. Do you feel like this gives you better guidelines in terms of dealing with people? And like I say, some of this is you don't know till you get into it and you run into something and it's like, this needs to be changed or made better or eliminated or something like that too sometimes. So I appreciate you kind of reaching out and kind of going, we need to, especially with increased activity. And it's like, we don't want to hold people up, but, if you're a developer, so to speak, on these types of things, that's something you kind of assume, generally speaking, those types of costs, some of them. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So this is just, I'm asking the question because I don't know. I'm assuming we charge when we go out and put new lines and that sort of thing. Well, it seems like it takes a lot of supplies and a lot of work on your part to do that. And so I don't know if that's something we should take up as a council.
Well, I think it, just generally speaking, you could extend a certain number of feet. I mean, that was kind of rule of thumb or something, wasn't it, at one time, or 100 feet or a certain distance, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe we just did
It's 100 feet. So we, by law, we have to provide service to anybody within the city limits, whether it's water, sewer, or electricity. We pay for it if it's 100, up to 100 feet, but anything outside that, then we charge. Now, we'll build it, but then we have to then charge the customer.
Any more questions for Mr. Joyce? Thank you for coming up. I wasn't planning on calling on you, but it's get it from the horse's mouth sometimes. Dr. Brazier, anything you want to add?
Not at this time. So we would just ask for y'all to consider approving this right here to support John and so he can hopefully be more effective at doing his job.
Okay. All right. Anybody would like to speak from out there? You're welcome. Yeah, come on up. Come on up to the, yeah, we like to hear you. Yeah, I've heard some of those charges and you go, wow, you know. Yeah. 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 We, no, we appreciate it. We appreciate your. Yeah. They're the developer, and if it's not there, then there's some responsibility on their part to.
And we had these provisions in our ordinance to cover that, but what we didn't have was clear policy. So the ordinance was written to safeguard the city from being stuck with more extension of services than what they could handle, but the policy wasn't written on how to handle those specific situations. So that's why we called Schneider and said, we need clarity, because the ordinance is, like 2 sentences, and by law, that's sufficient. But policy needed to be written so that we could all understand it a little bit better. So yes, I agree 100%.
Well,
with
and you've got to be careful about giving away city services and city, Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 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 Go down the road about 50 miles and yeah. Thank you, Renell. Okay. Do I have no more discussion? Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the line extension policy.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have a motion to do this line extension policy as submitted by Schneider. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It passes 3-0. Okay. Number 15, discuss, consider, and take action to pass a regulatory RV park ordinance. And does Ms. Bush want to discuss this?
So the need for this comes a lot from people making permits for these additional RV parks. And then when I tell them what the regulations are, they say, well, so-and-so has an RV park. They don't have a fence. And I'm like, yes, they've been told to have a fence, but precedent says that we have a hard time in enforcing those regulations. So this ordinance sets out clear standards for these RV parks, what they can and can't do, and what must be done before services can be rendered, so that the electricity doesn't get turned on to the units until they are meeting their permit requirements. This ordinance also allows for compliance by January 1 of 2027. So our current RV parks can continue to function. However, they will need to come into compliance January 1. If compliance is not made so that everybody is functioning under the same standard, then utilities will be stopped until that permit can be issued as it needs to be. Every year, they will need to renew their permit. It's a zero costing unless you want to put a cost attached to it. But it's very similar to how we do airport hangars or beer licensing with the gas stations. We're just going to send a packet out and they're going to fill it out and send it back. I think the provision in this ordinance says the beginning of November, giving them 60 days to get that back to us. That also gives us enough time to go and look at every one of those RV parks and ensure that the permit that they sent back to us meets those requirements that they said it did. They're not above and beyond requirements. They're solid surface, gravel, asphalt, concrete, a fence. Goodness, I have to think about that the permit has actually been issued. There is a spacing in here. I am not super familiar with RV parks. So when it talks about minimum size, 2 acres, and with a maximum of 15 sites per acre, per acre, that means that an RV park cannot be constructed inside the city limits if it's under 2 acres. If it is under 2 acres, then they would have to come to you and get a variance for that being under 2 acres. If you don't want it like that, please, in your motion, change that. These were just provisions that I got from 4 other type A local government towns in the state of Texas. So I was just kind of taking it per what other communities similar to our size were doing. A minimum site size was 1,500 square feet with spacing of 10 feet between the RVs. A minimum internal road width of 24 feet. Again, I know very little about RVs. So like I said, this was a combination of other towns' ordinances. And then at the streets and access, part D of that, the very end talks about fencing between non-conforming properties. That means that if your property abuts to a residential because the use of that property is now commercial, then your fence has to be done. I don't know if you've ever turned on a dually pickup next to a metal fence, but it tends to rattle a little bit. There's a little bit of an echo. So there is a provision in there that the fencing is preferred to be wooden, or metal can be used as long as vegetation is planted to muffle that noise. What we're trying to do to the best of our residential people is make that living in that area not be changed too terribly much by the addition of these RV parks. So that if you don't want that in there, I'm just pointing that out, that can definitely be changed.
So did I understand you right, Lauren, that we don't charge a permit fee or?
This ordinance doesn't have a fee to register your RV park annually, but we do have a permit fee for when you apply to get a specific use permit. That's $200. And that's generally to cover the certified mail that has to be sent out to the property owners around there. I just did 56, I think, for the applications you'll see next month. And so they're $10.75, unless it's gone up. That was the last time I did a certified mail. It could have gone up. They're very expensive. And additionally, what we had noticed is that these RV parks were being turned on at a general commercial rate. And the demand, after we looked at this line extension policy and the demand of the power for the parks themselves, if the way our policy currently reads, the ordinance currently reads, if you demand 50 kVAs or more, you're automatically at a large commercial rate. So rather than our staff go and read every single meter every single month to try to find that 50 to see if they pop up to large, this says that if you have 5 or more RVs, you're at a at-large commercial rate. That at-large commercial is $75 a month customer charge and a $10 meter fee. Your general commercial is $15 a month and a $10 meter fee. So that's the difference. That's already in your ordinance. That's not a change. The other minimum requirement is that they, at minimum, have to have a 3-yard dumpster, commercial dumpster. We've had people getting commercial rollouts for 5 RV spots. That's not enough trash for 5 RV spots. So at minimum, they have to have a 3-yard. That will run them commercially. I think it's like $89, $95 a month, somewhere in there for a 3-yarder. And having all of this very well spelled out gives the people who have these RV parks an idea of where they sit so that they can do their pricing correctly for whatever markup that they want to make. And it just makes the bar kind of even with everybody as they do their construction. Each RV site shall still be subject to the $5 infrastructure fee. That's not each RV, that's just each park still gets charged that $5 infrastructure fee.
Is that, have you checked that? Is that pretty equivalent standard in the industry as far as with the cities? Just seems like it's awfully low to me.
The $5 infrastructure fee, I'm sorry, I need to change that. I'm glad you said that. It's $8. Is the regular $8 infrastructure fee that you put on every single meter that goes towards infrastructure repairs in the community. So I will make a change on that. And whoever, if you choose to do a motion, please include that change needs to be in there. But y'all already have an $8 per month infrastructure fee.
What about, and I don't know how this, I guess you could count, but instead of on the per park, what about per unit on the park?
As far as a meter?
No, as far as an infrastructure fee. You see what I'm saying? I mean,
Yes, so that I'm not going to say that's not possible, but I'm not sure how the software would take that, because right now it's going to say the software knows you have an $8 fee per meter, and they're going to say there's 1 meter there, and so the software is automatically going to say that's an $8 fee. I don't know if I can tell the software 8 times 8 is 64. Now we're 64. I don't know if I can tell it that.
unless you just had
But
it.
you could do it if you wanted to do a registration fee, then you could do that on an annual basis based off the number of units if you wanted to. That'd be the
I think
easiest way.
that's where I was going. To me, we need to either get it on the annual registration or do it individually, because people are living there for a while.
You're getting $1 $8 fee a month,
Yes, just like a house.
infrastructure.
Yes.
fee.
But so does your grocery store. And so does, pick something, the pharmacy. They all get $1 $8 infrastructure fee.
I don't want to complicate it, but this is kind of changes the playing field for proposed RV parks and such. I'd kind of like to look at it some and maybe do the RV park owners present, I bet they haven't been able to look at it very much, and at least be able to, we could put it on the website or put it in a
Mhm.
banner or something and say, hey, proposed.
Yeah,
Whatever.
this is just for y'all's kind of review in case there was an internal
Right.
change that y'all wanted to make before we made it public. The other thing I will note is that, oh my goodness, I keep pushing the wrong button. It does say that a sewer connection has to be made so that these RV parks cannot go inside the city limits on a septic tank. So the reason why we're seeing the RV parks come inside the city limits and not go out in the county is that you have to have an incredibly large septic system to house 8 RV parks. And then you have to have one of those aerator things, and it has to shoot out a certain distance. It's just not that easy. So they want to come inside the city limits because they want the sewer system. It just makes it that much easier and more profitable. But on the chance that someone bought land inside the city limits and the sewer does not extend there, which we have places like that, this provision says that you cannot do that with a septic tank inside the city limits. You can outside, but not inside. So I just want to make that note.
I really think, and I'm thinking more for the future, there's going to be more wear and tear on our infrastructure. And I'm just concerned that maybe we're not charging. I'm all for standardization of the process, but if you think about additional wear and tear on the streets, additional sewer processing and that sort of thing, I feel like we need to take all of this into consideration for future use, because if things continue the way they're going, we're going to have more of the RV parks, which is fine. But I just feel like the city needs to be compensated because that's a lot of extra work on just about every one of our departments and a lot more administrative work on your part.
I will say too that this hasn't gone to the lawyer. There's a chance that we can do this as a policy and not as an ordinance if there's no fines attached to it or fees attached to it, to where you could pass it faster as a policy and then add fines and fees structure to your Appendix A at a later date. So if you wanted to pass, I don't know, it needs to go to the lawyer too. Not only does it need to go to the public, it needs to go to the lawyer and have all the bells and whistles written out in it.
So we can, would we table this till next month, or we could act on it tonight, or?
You can act on it tonight if you like the way it's written and you want it to move forward, then we'll send it to the lawyer and and find out if it has to be an ordinance. If it has to be an ordinance, we either are subject to a 30-day or one public hearing or two public hearings. We'll find that out. And then we would either hear it in May or we would hear it in June.
I'd kind of like to know that before, in other words, once we put it all together. And like I say, just, I think we're being very transparent, but I think it would be more transparent if we, just my opinion, y'all may not feel the same, but it would give the present RV owners a chance to look at it and they might have some good ideas, or they might oppose it, forcefully, but it would give a little more time, and maybe we could get the attorneys to look at it and say, hey, you've got to do it. You can only do it this way. We don't know that.
So one of the questions I'd like to pose to the lawyer is this. I really feel like, generally speaking, most of these provisions are already in your zoning. You can only park on a solid surface. You have to tie into the sewer. You have to use city water. Commercial rates have not changed. They're just being applied. So it's why I think that what we have in place is probably functional. It's almost like the line extension. The ordinances we have are there to safeguard the city. We need a policy that better explains how to use it per this way. Because there's no requirements in this ordinance that aren't requirements related to to the zoning ordinance as stated for commercial activity. But yes, it needs to be reviewed.
One thing that jumps out at me is the 2 acres. That could be, the council could say, no, it's, a quarter of a block maybe, or whatever number the council. And that's kind of my idea on maybe wait until next month, but that's just me. And like I say, give other people a chance to weigh in on it. And I'm with Ms. Townley and you. I don't want to gouge anybody, but at the same time, it's kind of like what Renell was saying. We don't want to take advantage of anybody, but you don't want to get taken advantage of. And so anyway, that's just my take on it. But any more discussion from out here, or be happy to, anybody wants to weigh in on it?
Is there any sense of urgency that we need to get this done?
No and yes. The sense of urgency is that we have a hard time to get compliance. So the idea behind this, at the very section 14, the very last one says this ordinance shall take into effect April 16th. That's so in case you decided to pass it. Hereby understood by the council and the public that all existing RV parks will have to come into compliance no later than January 1st, 2027. A non-compliance will result in severance of services not to be reinstated until compliance is met. Compliance is the issue that we deal with now. And the size of the lot is not necessarily an issue. Like I said, that was suggestion from other places. But in the chance that the place you wanted to go was 0.642 acres, then on your specific use permit, you would just request a variance for the 2 acres to 0.264. So we have provisions that don't hinder the public from doing what they want to do. You know, I mean, they can always come talk to you and ask you, just like Lee and Amy did tonight. They just asked for a variance diverting from, you know, the way it's written. It's not hard. So we don't want to make it to where the public can't come and talk to you or can't ask you for a permit, but to give clear expectations to those applying and those that are currently operating.
Well, then the existing RV park owners are gonna, I mean, they may have got, you know, they know they're supposed to put a fence up, and they haven't. And they need to comply, but at least it's in good faith. Hey, this is about to get real. And I just feel like, you know, they need to be brought, you know, not brought in, but at least have the opportunity to weigh in.
It doesn't do you any service to tell people what the rules are if you can't enforce the rules. Then why do you have them? So if we expect applicant A to spend an extra $20,000 on gravel and a fence in this, but applicant B said, sure, yeah, whatever, and we flipped his lights on and he didn't spend that extra 20 grand, you've created dissension within the public. And we don't want that. It needs to be fair and equitable to everybody. Everybody spends their 20 grand, or everybody doesn't spend their 20 grand, however y'all want that.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Anybody? Okay. We'll accept. Would someone like to make a motion? Or not?
Mayor, make a motion that we pass the regulatory RV park ordinance.
Okay, we have a motion, Councilman Wynn, that we accept this. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. All in favor? Or any discussion out here?
Do we need to add that $8 for the?
Okay.
I put that in my motion.
Councilman Wynn amended his motion. Yeah, put that in your motion. And we've got a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. And it passes 3-0. Okay. Let's go on. Let's see here. Number 16, discuss, consider, and take action on bids received on a new vac trailer. Dr. Brazier, you probably don't want to hear vac trailer mentioned again. You've done a lot of research on this.
Well, this is the third month in a row that it's been on the agenda, but we did get quite a few bids. I put all that in your packet. You know, I think our biggest holdup before making recommendations was to just ensure and hear from our auditor to see what our fund balance was in that Fund 1. And I think he made it clear tonight that, you know, we have the funds to make this purchase if the council so chooses. But again, I just want to reiterate that, you know, the mayor has really pushed us to do some upgrades on our infrastructure, replacing poles, but then also our electric department also has to come in there and replace poles. Sometimes there are emergency situations. And my understanding, and Joyce can probably explain this a little bit more in depth, they really can't do this without a vac trailer. Mr. Hoyt has made it clear that, I mean, he's been very, very generous and he shares without one problem, but they use that vac trailer pretty much every day, all day long. And they take it with them basically on every call, whether they're dealing with sewer or water lines, leaks, whatever, they use that. And I think something else for the council to consider, the current vac trailer that they have, the water department, is that it's used a lot. It's 5+ years old, maybe 8 years old. It's been a great machine, so it would be nice to have a backup as well. So with this recommendation, Mr. Joyce will be able to do his pole replacement as needed, and then also we'll be able to go and replace a pole in emergency situations without having to wait for the water department, because usually theirs is an emergency situation too. So you got two emergencies, one vac trailer, and that equates into a problem. But anyway, the best price that we found, and I've had also, John's looked at this as well as Mr. Hoyt, but what we currently have is the economy, and that's the same type of vac trailer we would like to recommend. It's 800 gallon, $49,500, and that includes the trailer. So that is the recommendation for y'all to consider.
Well, I know the electric department has started replacing poles on a pretty regular schedule, and it's you hit a utility line or something under the ground with the backhoe or something like that, it's a mess. So
What was that number again?
Which number?
When you just said 49?
$49,500.
And that's new.
Yes, brand new.
And that's what the water department has now.
Yes.
Or that's the brand that they have now.
And certainly Mr. Joyce will be more than willing to answer any questions y'all may have about, what he's needing and why he needs it.
All right. Any comment or, oh, there's Mr. Joyce. He's on the agenda twice. Wow. Yes, sir. Was that down there by Hollow's? Yeah. Okay. All right. Would you, rather than an auger, would you tend to use this way more than an auger, would you say? Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. What I've read, I say everybody, it's very common to go to this, to dig like you're talking about, just it's a safety deal as much, and it's fast and,
So you feel like this piece of equipment, I'm sure you've recommended it, you feel like it'll meet your needs? Okay. Okay.
All right. Any more questions for Mr. Joyce or from out here?
Well, I just want to be clear, we do not have this budgeted, so it would require for us to transfer money from fund balance undesignated fund balance to make this purchase if it's approved by the council.
We seem to, according to Mr. Fleming, we're in pretty good shape in that department, so. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, back up. You never know. All right. You bet. Thank you, Mr. Joyce. Do I have any more discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we receive the bid on the new vac trailer for $49,500.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Wynn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Council Lady Townley is a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. So it does pass. Back truck on the way, I guess. I don't know. John may have to drive to, I don't know, New Jersey to pick it up. I'm just kidding. I don't know where they make them, where you buy them. Okay, let's see here. 17, discuss, consider, and take action concerning a noise variance request by Mr. Brad Hammock for 112 West Morris, H.H. Creek's Timeless Goods to extend till 11:59 p.m. on Friday and Saturday nights.
This request came into my office. They would like to have live music, but the current noise ordinance doesn't allow for music to be played till midnight. And he doesn't really want to go all the way to midnight, but we just went ahead and extended it to 11:59. It's over here at the old Home Lumber. Thank you. 112 East or West Morris. And so, and it would only be on Friday and Saturday and not consistently the plan at this time. And I don't think it would be obnoxious, but there are residential areas not terribly far from here. So we needed to have council approval.
It's generally a commercial. I mean,
Even commercial has a noise
but you go a block
ordinance.
towards Cedar Street, there are some houses kind of generally.
Yeah, I mean, one block and you're on Cedar. And so I don't know if y'all have ever listened to like the rodeo, but if you turn it up, I can hear it 50 blocks, I can hear it all the way on California.
Yeah, you could,
So it could be an issue.
Yeah.
But I just don't see them playing music that would truly disturb the public. And if it did, y'all could always rescind.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. If it got to be an issue, then we could. Okay. Any more discussion on that? Does anybody want to out here would be happy to speak, or if not, would someone like to make a motion regarding the ordinance? Like that's kind of what kept me going. If it did become an issue, we could come back and take some action.
Mayor, I make a motion, we grant the noise variance request made by Brad Hammock.
Okay, we have a motion to grant this. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor? If there's no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. And I'm not. Let's go to number. Renell, would you like to jump up? Why don't we go to 26? I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, you've been patient. You've been here all night. We can do you right now if you want to. Yeah, I've kept looking for you, and I flipped the page, and it's number 26. Yeah. Let's discuss, consider, and take action concerning 117 Mercantile drainage issues. So I'm not aware of what this is, so.
This is 117 North Washington, which is the old 117 Mercantile building. Bought it back, I guess, in October or so. But we just realized that all that floor was rotted on the north side. And we all thought that it was coming from the ceiling gazebo area. So I talked to Daryl Adams, and he said, sure, whatever we need to do to get it taken care of. And the only thing I know to propose is if we can do a French drain and drain right up against the wall. Of course, I'll be on Daryl Adams's property, but right up against the wall, and it only goes about 40 feet. The rest of it's okay. But I guess that water is just settling there, and they just went in there with all those boards up and down. So, the only, I mean, there's a couple of other solutions we could do, but I think the French drain would solve the problem. But the biggest issue is getting it drained to the east. I never did hear from Elijah or anybody. I know they're busy. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just looking at the eye, but we never did shoot it to see, but it looks like it drains to the east, which means it would need to drain out on because there's no drainage at all on that property. It's all going this way. Or it's going east.
So it,
One thing I know is we're looking at is go through the concrete, go through the sidewalk, and drain it, I guess, out in the street.
It'll be just like the post office over here. They do the same thing with those metal grates. It goes
Is that what
across the
that is?
sidewalk, goes into the street. Yep.
okay.
Over at the post office, if you'll notice those metal, like there's about 3 of them down through there. That's where the drainage goes underneath I guess it's a gutter or something.
There's probably a gutter under the street. You think that takes
I think it comes off the building or something. It runs to the street.
you think it goes into the street, or does it go into something under the ground? There's drainage, there are big drainage things that take the water all the way to the park. I don't know.
I think it comes right straight.
I think it does.
What are you asking from us?
Do we need the street department to look at this and
Well, I think what she's asking, can y'all cut the concrete, the slab, the sidewalk? They're going to do that, but I guess she's wanting permission from y'all. Can she cut the sidewalk in order to complete the project?
it would come back? You would come back, you would resurface the sidewalk.
And we, yeah, we just need permission to do that, it'll come out, because I think that's basically the only solution to the problem, because it is low there, not moving that much,
Yeah.
Adams's property, more about the garden, the gravel in there. And that's the simplest solution, other than going through the concrete. So I just want to do that, and I also need to do a big test, to make sure there's nothing there.
So is there going to be a lot of foot traffic around that area, like for people to be walking over it or anything?
So you're looking at, any idea how long it would take, once you start digging into the concrete, how long it would take to complete?
No, ma'am.
Most likely probably 4 inches.
Say that again?
Most likely 4 inches. There's no reason why it to be even thicker than that. It's just a sidewalk. It's nothing you're rolling on.
Okay.
I figure you're going to cut out the steps too. Then you're going to put whatever you're draining out right there at the bottom of that step and then concrete back and leave it. There'll be a hole there at that point, but yeah.
Once it hits the street, what direction do you think it goes? The water?
Goes, yeah.
South?
Imagine it used to drain to the west. He put his building there and poured the concrete. But and he forced it back on you when he built that building gazebo there.
Yeah. So Adams owns the adjoining property, is that right? Okay. So they're okay with you getting over on them and okay.
Since she's taking all this on herself, could we maybe haul it off for her? Have a truck, maybe they can have a skid steer down there and load it up for her.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I think if you're going to endure all the cost, I think that's the least we could do is haul the material off for you.
Land's pretty talented at that stuff. So.
Well, I try not to get in people's business, but I have noticed all the work you're doing down there, and there's another property across the street. I noticed that Russell Rivers and Sabrina, I guess, are working on that building. So I like to see. I mean, it just makes me feel good when you see activity, and it tells me there's some optimism in the community. And oh my gosh, okay, all right.
Do we need to get with Ronnie, you think? Let Ronnie go down and consult her and
Or approve this
approve
with,
it? I
with
mean,
Yeah, you just approve what you want, and we'll do it. We'll take care of it.
I mean, I just,
it, as long as there's that you would consult with our street department as your, I mean, I guess.
any bank on Dick Test.
Yeah, we'll be great partners. We'll
Yeah.
do everything we can
Yeah.
to support you and help you
Yeah.
in any way that we can.
You just let Dr. Brazier know when you're going to do it. Maybe we get some barriers up, maybe break some barriers. We have
Yes,
fresh concrete,
yes.
keep anybody from walking or breaking a leg or something, till it's finished.
Very good. Does somebody want to make any more discussion? If not, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve her request for the
Okay, number 26.
water drainage issue.
To allow her to begin her drainage project across the city sidewalk. And that our city street department will, I'm not making the notion, what am I saying? Make it the way you want. Okay,
I second Bill's motion.
okay. It's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Thank you. I'm sorry we held you here this long. I should have moved you up before then. You bet. Okay. Let's see. Okay, number 18, discuss, consider, and take action regarding extending soft work membership discounts for retirees of the city of Seymour. Dr. Brazier, they get employees, if you're presently an employee, you get a discount. I know 10%, 15%, something like that.
Right. Actually, Mr. Davis made this proposal, and I told him he could come and present it to y'all. So, John, you want to come up and share with the council your thoughts?
Okay, go ahead.
To recognize the long-term dedication of our workforce, we are proposing extending the discounted employee golf membership rate to retiring staff. This initiative serves as a low-cost, high-impact longevity benefit, allowing retirees to maintain their connection to the community and their former colleagues while promoting active, healthy lifestyles throughout retirement. By implementing this policy, the city reinforces a culture of appreciation and loyalty, honoring years of public service through a benefit that requires minimal fiscal investment to maintain. So we currently offer an employee discount of $15 off the regular rate. Currently, if this policy is approved, we have 2 current members that would immediately qualify for the employee discount. And then we also have potentially 3 other employees that would be retiring or able to retire within 5 years. Not that there are any talks of them retiring, but they would also qualify within that time frame. So we're looking at a very minimal investment. If we did all 5 of those right away, that would be, we'd lose out about $75 in revenue. If this policy encourages one of our retirees to start a new membership, that new membership would pay for the 5 that we have going. So there's very minimal investment to it. We've had people that are retiring that ask about something like this. We've had employees that ask about it on behalf of somebody retiring and wanting to honor them. So I think it would be a good benefit that we could add that would cost us very little.
Hey, can we extend that to council people too?
Say that again?
Council people, when they get off, can we
Yeah,
extend it to
yeah, what
them?
about
If
council
I get
people?
off of them, do I get that retirement deal?
Well, if you're going to do city council, then I would say during maybe 5 minimal years of service, as a council member.
No, that's actually
Hey, listen, I mean,
that's a good question.
our senators and all them, they retire and they still get money all the time. Or they get beat out or whatever, they still get paid. I've got that then, good.
For an employee to retire, they would have to have a minimum of 5 years of service. And for that person to retire, they would also have to be over age 60. And then everybody under age 60, it's a 20-year term to retire.
So it would have to follow the retirement guidelines as far as people qualifying.
Right. The way I would do it is just look at who I would consider it retirement if they're receiving a monthly retirement benefit. So if we have people that leave before they're retirement eligible, a lot of those people will end up refunding that balance to themselves versus waiting out whatever timeline they're on to be able to retire. So.
Sounds like the council would not qualify.
I'll vote no.
Everybody's no, that's a no.
Who,
Remember, I still might vote no.
he's thinking about joining if he gets that retirement deal.
Well, that's interesting what you said. If one person came back as a member, it would pay for all the discounts, assuming, whatever. That's.
You said we have 2 active that's retired that are still members of the golf course now? Oh,
So would we retro with anybody that has retired recently? Okay.
This would start like now, so we're not going to retroactively credit them $15 a month for the last 3 years that they, it'd just be like starting
oh
now,
no,
you
no,
get
yeah,
a
we
credit.
understand that.
Yeah.
You're just giving them a break now that they were retirees.
All right. More discussion, more thoughts. $15.
So I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
that we accept the
Okay.
proposal to allow retired employees to receive a discount on the Salt Fork recreational.
Okay. We have a motion from Ms. Townley to extend Salt Fork membership discounts for retirees of the city of Seymour. Is there a second? Or discussion?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. We have 2 ayes and 1 no. All right. That was at you. Man, this is a long agenda. I didn't. Okay. What was short last last month. Number 19, discuss, consider, take action on resolution 1605 of the city of Seymour requesting financial assistance from the Texas Water Development Board, authorizing the filing of an application for assistance in making certain findings in connection therewith in an amount of not to exceed $10 million to provide for the cost of water system improvements. Is someone against this? I'm sorry, go ahead, Dr. Brady.
Yeah, I don't know if you want any information, but these next two agenda items are just allowing us to go through the process to apply for this Texas Water Development Board grant. They're put forth a lot of money out there, so we would definitely like to apply and put our name in the hat. And with this funding, if we were to receive it, we would be able to make some significant infrastructure improvements from our freshwater tank that we have at the RO plant to rehabilitating wells, plugging wells, replacing additional water lines. So there's a lot of different, we don't have any specific projects right now, but we would like to move forward. And if y'all will consider approving these next two agenda items will allow us to at least put our name in the hat and move forward with the process.
All right, that would be a nice, when do they make these decisions, Jeff? Do you know?
I believe I sent y'all a timeline on y'all's council notes, but I don't remember exactly when those are, but I think it's something like in July, something like that.
All right.
So if we're awarded this grant, that's a lot, that's a big number, so I'm sure they're gonna wanna have reporting and accounting and all of that for the money. Do we feel like we've got the resources to do that if we are awarded?
Well, GrantWorks would be the one that would oversee all the administration of the grant on behalf of the city of Seymour. And then, of course, our engineer, Jacob Martin, would come in. They would help us identify projects and then put projects, and then all that would be included into the grant.
So GrantWorks is aware of this. They are going to make the application, assuming we approve.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So whatever they tell us to provide, whatever we got to do to provide it is what I assume we would do. We qualified due to the fact our audits are up to date. So that's
It was
not
a huge factor, yes.
Yes, a huge factor. Okay. Any more discussion? If not, is there a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the resolution 1605.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. All right. We'll say a prayer about that one. Number 20, discuss, consider, and take action concerning the water supply and infrastructure grant application items, including, that's Texas Water Development Board 0201 application affidavit and TWDB 0201B certificate of secretary.
Can you include both of those things if you so choose to in your motion?
Okay, does this ties in with what
Well,
we?
if I'd have known that, I said that earlier.
Well,
approve- I-
because
I
the
include-
resolution is separate and these are certificates, because of the way the email was sent, I did it like this.
Oh,
Sorry.
well, I include the certificates in the motion I made, Welcome.
Make it, let's go. Any more discussion? If not, would someone like to make a motion on number 20? Going
I'll
once.
make a motion, but I have to figure out what that motion is.
Be approving the application affidavit and the certificate of secretary, but just include those TWD numbers.
Okay, so
Yeah, what she said.
I'll make a motion that we authorize management. Say it again, Lauren, I'm sorry.
Just authorize the TWDB 0201 application affidavit and the TWDB 00201B certificate of secretary.
Okay, all right. So my motion is that we make application on the TWDB 201 affidavit and the WTB 02018, the certificate Does that work? All right.
Yeah. All right. We have a motion. No wonder nobody wanted to make that motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. It carries 3-0. Number 21, discuss, consider, and take action of property located at 301 North Donald.
Believe that Ms. Bush was unable to get in contact with Mr. Slate, so we would postpone that until next month. However, this might be a time for y'all to, since it's on the agenda, to discuss as a council what y'all like to see moving forward. So when he does come forward, y'all will be, I guess, in cahoots exactly what your expectations are, so that those expectations can be met. I think that you're going to run into him misinterpreting, I think, what the council had requested before, and he's going to be talking about those things. So anyway, I would just encourage y'all to be prepared for that conversation.
What's our next step if,
Well, I think y'all's choices are, you can say that you want it to be met to the standards in which y'all stated to previous owners. You know, the roof is completely gone, I think on over half the building. The backside of it's kind of rotted. There's access underneath, you know, so I know there's rodents, skunks, different things probably living in and around that house. He cut, I think I counted 14 branches after 6 months ago, threw them out there on the curb for us to pick up. But in any case, y'all need to just basically tell him it needs to meet those standards that I think Lauren's talked to y'all about before. Or if he refuses to do that, then y'all could move toward a demolition.
So would we make a motion to move forward with condemnation,
If that's what you so choose. Did you send an email with images of the structure? No, it was just to me. That's what I was trying to find in my email, because it's been, there's no telling where it is in there. Right now, I can't find it. However, the minutes from the last meeting, which were provided in your packet, said that y'all wanted to review progress of the property in 60 days, and that should have happened in January. So I think, given your motion, what we need to do is review the progress next month, and we'll do that with images and et cetera. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get that in your packet this month. It just didn't happen. And at that time, if you deem it something that you want to condemn and have removed, then we go through the process that we have with everything else. We send it to TCG, and it's not going to be difficult. It's not going to be as expensive in that process, because we're not doing discovery of property, trying to find errors and all of that stuff, because we know who it is. So it would just be a simple condemnation. And then we would go through the options of, do you want to deed us the property? Do you want to do, all these things that we offer everyone? And we just move forward. And then if we choose to condemn it and it meets the criteria, then we'll put it on the list to tear down. And we probably won't do that until November-ish, just given the weather and the time constraints. We'll be mowing. We want all the snakes to go underground before we start tearing stuff down. And so we usually wait till it gets colder.
So you're saying assess the property between now and the next meeting?
Yes.
And
Yes.
will you write a report on that, or?
Yeah, we'll in your next, so, okay, TCG supplies us with, what would you call that? It's a condemnation sheet that says what the state of Texas requires you to assess. So we'll go through, we'll make those assessments. We'll include pictures in your next packet. And then, so that will allow you to review that property. I highly suggest you to drive by and look at it yourself. And then in May, when you look at it, you will be fulfilling the motion that you made in whatever, April or June 19th of 2025. And then make the determination what you want done with that property after
Will
that.
he be notified?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't have time to get a hold of him, and I tried to call him and was unable. So this will give me more time to contact the property owner.
Okay.
So will that person be allowed to come back here
Absolutely.
if they want to
Yes.
and talk to us? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's all we'll say about that. But, okay, is there a motion or is any more discussion? Or is there a motion on number 21? Discuss, consider, and take action. I assume it would be something about assessing this property. Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we proceed with the further inspection of the property on 301 North Donald with the notification to the property owner
Okay.
and an invitation to come
Sure.
before the council.
Sure. And he has come. So, all right, we have a motion. There's a second. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It passes 3-0. Okay, number 22. Okay, discuss, consider, and take action to appoint a hot board member, which can consist of 1 to 2 councilmen and 1 at-large member of the Seymour, or instead of an at-large member, or the Seymour Chamber of Commerce Board President as a standing position. And we had this, we've kind of had this discussion. We had a hot board meeting on Monday, and there was we were a little unclear about if the council president was going to be a standing position or one appointed. So anyway, Lauren, do you want to speak on that, or how do you want to?
Y'all revised your hotel occupancy ordinance not too long ago, but historically, there has been a position that is rotated with the Chamber of Commerce president. So the question is, do you want a person to rotate out of there? And so you define that board placement as Chamber of Commerce president, or do you want to define that board placement as a specific person? So you have 3 at-large members currently, and that's Mary Beth Miller, Bill Brown, and I'm sorry? Lynn Smith. Thank you. I didn't look at my packet. And so you could have a 4th at-large and name them specifically, or you could just say it's a position held placement, and then whoever the chamber president is will sit there.
I don't want on there. Nancy, you want on there?
I'll do it.
You will? Yeah.
Well, let's, what about, you want to make the chamber president a standing, the chamber president will always be on the hot board. Do you want to make that as a standing?
I think it should be by position, not by person, because if they change, then
Yes. That's kind of where I'm falling on this, and I'm kind of falling on Nancy as being a member of the hot board is what I'm thinking.
I was voluntold that I will do it.
Okay, do we have any more discussion or a motion on this? I think, yeah, I think so. You're going to have both these.
So I'm
Standing
understanding
position.
Nancy's going to be the council person. So your council position, it's written in your ordinance as 1 to 2 council people. So I don't know that you have to define that person because you're a council person. So you fit when you no longer become a council person, you no longer fit. So I think that ordinance suffices and you don't have to name her specifically. I think really what we needed was clarification on the position for the chamber. So
Could we name her?
sure, absolutely.
I'd like to name her.
Okay, works for me. So I needed a motion
But
with
it's
the
not-
council
but it's
name
not my motion,
and a
so-
position.
Just, what about the other position?
It's be the standing, I'll make a motion that we put Nancy Townley on there as the council person. And then we'll always have the chamber president. Just the chamber president, no names for the title.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. If no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. You abstain. Wait, she can vote, can't she? Yeah, you can vote. All right.
Yes.
3-0. Otherwise, we don't have a quorum. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I didn't think about that. that. I ain't got to vote yet. Okay. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning opening the Saltport gun range for police department use only. Go ahead.
Yes, the chief did come to me. They do need an adequate place to come and prepare and train. And they've been trying to use the one out at the RO plant or the wastewater plant,
Sanitation
and
plant.
it's really not been efficient. And so I feel that we're obligated, if we expect our police officers to protect us, they need an adequate place to train. I think they could go to Wichita, but they're in cubicles. And so, they don't always just stand there and bam, bam. I mean, they're running and diving and doing a lot of different things. So I think you want to come talk about that a little bit? And I think he's willing to reach out to any concerned citizens that live in that area, kind of let them know what's going on. And of course, it'll be supervised by professional peace officers. But Bryce, talk to them.
Just stay indoors. Stay indoors. 2 to 4.
I did talk to Dr. Brazier and the mayor and even told them to go as far as, we can even put in there that myself or Sergeant Dean, and one of us has to be present at all times. Because, your school ISD and your sheriff's department will come qualify with us and train with us. But that way you don't have to open up to other agencies without our supervision. But it would only be for officers.
So I know the hospices would, I'm glad you covered that base. Is there anyone else out there that you think would have any issues?
I know, Rayful and stuff like that, but they've never had any issues with us as far as I know. John was the big force
Mhm.
behind the whole thing that I could recall. I reached out.
Mm-hmm.
We never had any complaints the whole time we were there, to my knowledge. I never said anything. It seemed like it was that isolated incident, or the two incidents,
Mm-hmm.
but they were not during police training.
Sure.
There's something I don't know if this was, or maybe I'm reading this wrong, but this would include sheriff's department as well.
Yes, sir. We would like to, because we train together.
Yes.
Work together,
Yes.
train together. So we would like to have permission of that our local law enforcement officers.
School.
So like, these don't want to work for us as it is. So like, they can come train with us. Our troopers or gate wardens that work here, they want to shoot with us, they can. They'll do it when we're there, when we're there.
But that,
They don't have to go out there and shoot by themselves. They have to be with us.
would that also include the teachers that are part of the Guardian program?
It would be awesome if we could allow that and just do it under the guise of shooting stuff and training. That would be very easy to help.
What kind of program? Oh, yeah. In the classroom. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So do we have anybody else in town that, I mean, you don't want to get everybody in town out there, but do you have any, are you aware of anybody else in town that carries with the intent of protecting? I think there's some churches and stuff like that, but that might be going too far.
There's a bunch of church members. I don't know how they train. We haven't been brought in. I've spoke with the Catholic Church. They're the only ones that reached out to us. We had a meeting with them, but the Catholic Church had a small program and everything. So I'm sure most churches do nowadays.
I'm pretty sure they do. It would be nice to have a really coordinated effort because let's pray we don't ever have one, but in the event, you're going to need coordination with anybody that's carrying with the intent of protecting people. So. Uh-huh. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. If they did reach out, come back here and say, yeah. And you're looking at a few times a year. Is that what you're looking at? And
And that'll occur in the daytime, so we're not. Okay. Mm-hmm.
You've done that out there before, night training or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Yes. What about I thought about this the other day. I drove out there. There's a flagpole. You can raise a red flag or, and yeah, that's kind of the main
That's what I was
thing.
gonna say. We'll get a red flashing light and a siren over in that neighborhood, and y'all hit it when y'all fixing to be out there and start flashing. That means
They're
take
out
cover.
there. Yeah. If we can ever get one.
You just need to say just local law enforcement.
Yeah, with a Seymour PD officer always present.
And that way they don't go out there. Of course, they don't have a key to any access
Yeah.
anyway. So as long as we keep it locked, then they don't even have key access.
Any more discussion? Any more questions?
Mayor, I will make a motion that we allow our city, Seymour Police Department, to have access to the Saltport Gun Range and the other local law enforcements too, as long as Chief or Sergeant Diaz is there. And the Guardian program from Seymour ISD.
Okay. All right. Is there a second?
A second.
We have a second. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, and it passes. When do you think you'll go out there? How soon? Yeah, good. Yeah, makes sense. Excellent. Okay, let's move on. Number 24. Discuss, consider, and take action to approve the updated pricing from Waste Connections for residential, commercial garbage, transfer station, and sludge. I guess Dr. Brazier can talk about it. I think it's a contractual 5% increase is what I'm reading. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay.
I guess your only other option would be is to go out for bids and try to find another contractor, but we've been, I think
I've been kind of impressed with,
they do a great job.
they
They're
haven't
very
hardly
personable.
missed.
Yeah, they're always coming by and checking on us. I mean, they're top notch.
And they're responsive, and one of their managers, I think, was mayor of Lakeside City. What, is that true?
That is true. He ran for I think district judge or commissioner. I can't remember, but
I don't know.
he
Not-
got
I bet him.
defeated,
He's a nice
unfortunately.
guy. Okay.
So we will pass those
You'll
additional
see
charges
this-
onto the
Yes, so
customers.
the increase in monthly retail will be $1.06. Last year, it was $1.08, so we're increasing less per can. That's on a residential cart 1 time a week. The increase for residential cart, 2 carts, that goes, the individual pricing was $9, and I believe it goes to 12, which was an increase over the 5%. I think they do their 5% as like a general overview. When it comes to, let me minimize some of these. It's hard for me to see where my retail is. Here we go. Commercial 3-yarder will go from $87 to $90. So it's a $3 increase. A 6-yarder goes from 124 to 129. So it is minimal. We will see an increase in transfer station costs, and we will see an increase in sludge costs. And I would like to have direction if I typically only do futures on your commercial residential garbage rates. If you want me to do any changes to transfer station rates, that would need to be given to me in direction, because generally I don't do that. But you will see an increase in cost associated at the transfer station. I do not believe that it is impactful cost. So, but that could be addressed by another department. But if you wanted me to do the projections, I would need direction for that.
Yeah, and
So
currently,
the
I think we make enough profit right now. I mean, we're not trying to make profit, but I think it's kind of built in. I really don't, at this point, I don't see it necessary to try to increase those transfer station costs.
So how much would we absorb if we chose not to increase the rates?
If we chose not to increase. So right now, what we're doing is we are not making more money. We maintain our profit margin. So the only increase in rate is the wholesale provider cost. So if we chose to eat the wholesale provider increase, I don't really have that calculated to know what our loss would be. At this point, because pennies add up eventually and we can't just make it perfect, you're going to make like $2,000 at the end of the year more because it just compounds. But I did my very best to keep that profit margin at the same, or there was a couple I was able to reduce it, but we're not making any more money really. $200 more a month that we can't.
I was just thinking if it would be nice maybe if we didn't have to raise the,
I can give you that
Utility
rate
rate.
for, so, hold on, let me see.
What'd you say it's gonna be per resident per dumpster?
Okay, so our currently, what they're paying right now, the cost is $21.15. That's is that the right? Yeah. And no, it's $34.96. So with the 5% increase, it takes it to $36.02. So the difference between $34.96 and $36.02 is $1.06. So we would lose, we have 980 cans at that rate. So 980 cans at $1, we would stand to absorb $1,000 in residential can cost a month. So that's just in residential. So you would assume about 12,000, and then a lot of people have second cans. So let's pop it to 16. So you may absorb $16,000 worth of residential garbage costs. But if you wanted that, actually, I'd have to do some more stuff.
If we don't pass on this increase is what you're saying.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And so it would reduce our revenue.
If we agreed not to pass on the increase and you recalculate this and that number's way off, we can come back.
I can provide you with keeping the profit margin as it is with the 5% increase, and I can give you what that profit margin would actually be with a 5% reduction. Does that make sense? Where they're going to increase that 5%, what your profit margin would go to.
Okay.
So you would only make $10,000 instead of $20,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of number.
Okay.
it's not a lot, but it's the principle of the thing with some
Yeah.
people.
I think that you may find, especially when you get down into these commercial rates and the amount of garbage that we take out of the housing authority area and the cost associated, you could see a $30,000 change in your profit margin. You could, yeah, we'll see.
So all we're asking tonight is to approve this 5% that we're going to pay them, right? Yeah, I got you. Okay.
but giving me direction as to what information you would like provided at the next meeting.
You want that right now? Or, like,
You want what now? Okay, let's do it.
okay,
I make a motion that, Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the updated pricing from Waste Connections.
okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, and it passes 3-0. Discuss, consider, number 25, discuss, consider, and take action regarding Chapter 11 Utilities Code of Ordinances.
Yes, on this particular issue, we went ahead and put this on the agenda on the same principle as the electric extension policy. Legal looked at this. They felt like our policy was sufficient to meet, I guess, our general operating protocols on our routine single property service connections within the city limits. However, they felt like that if we were going to look at any large scale development, such as subdivisions or commercial projects of any kind, that it's not really clearly defined. So I have asked them to maybe take a closer look at that. And so in the future, when that's available, then we'll bring that to y'all for consideration. But at this time, I don't believe, Lauren, any action needs to be taken on this at this point.
There'd be no action at this point.
Correct.
We just do nothing. Is that
Right. I'd put this on here in anticipation of having to make
Gotcha.
some changes,
Gotcha.
but she said it was
Okay.
good as written.
so? If no one wants to make a motion on this, we'll just let it die at this point. There's no motions being made, so it dies. No executive session. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn? We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?